Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got in another flashlight to take a look at. This one's coming from urFLAMP and the model is the V63. This company is new to me, but going back through and looking at other people's reviews, it looks like they've been around for at least 2 years or more. But this V63 is going to be a pocket thrower and it has a really cool hidden secret that I'm excited to show you guys. So stick around if you want to learn about it. We'll do a real quick unboxing. We'll go over all the features and specifications, go over the user interface, give you guys some beam shots, and then give some final thoughts on it. So first thing I want to show you is that my model specifically is the V63-S, which is the spotlight version. They do also make a floodlight version, and then you can see that mine is checked with an 18350. And it's black. Looks like they also have a pink available. Front of the box again, you can see 3800 lumens. Looks like it's going to have a 663 meter throw, which is very impressive out of a light that's this small. Going to have a magnetic tail, I assume. Here are a bunch of the run times and outputs and stuff. I'm not going to go over all that right now with you guys. Looks like we are IP68 waterproof rated and 1.5 meters drop tested. Let's get into it. We'll see how it's packaged and then everything that comes with it. So looks like we're gonna have some spare O-rings. What all's in this bag? Charging cable, type A to C. And there's the spare O-rings and a lanyard. Got a user manual. Quickly show you that. You can always pause, stop and read anything that you want. There is their warranty policy. And then we have the V63-S. Again, you can basically just see how small this flashlight is. Give you guys some close-ups here. Mine said it was the 18350 version, so let's check to see if they included a battery. No insulation film on the top of that. Maybe there's a lockout that they have done. I'll have to check into that, but that's probably the first flashlight that I've opened in years that doesn't have that little plastic or paper film on it. Body is really thick, good springs in there. Those threads were well greased and super smooth. For those of you that care, this is running an SFT 40 LED. It's got your TIR lens. A little bit of, I guess, crenulation around the bezel here, not a whole lot really. Rubberized button for your power switch. Here's our charging port for that USB-C cable. A little bit of ribbing right here. Something unique right here. This has a 1/4 thread, so you can mount this to a tripod if you want. Grab you some dimensions and a weight. We are looking at 3.28 inches in length. We're going to have a head diameter of right about 1.6 inches. Body or tube just over an inch. There it is next to a dollar bill. We're looking at a total weight with that battery in it of 3.9 ounces. So before I start going over the user interface and then show you guys the hidden secret here, I was looking at some of the parameters, and again it says that this is 3800 lumens. And when I look back here for our S version, that is not accurate. If we use that 18350 battery, we're at 1500 lumens on the turbo setting. And if we use an 18650 battery, it's 2000 lumens. The floodlight version is how you can get the 3800 lumens, so I just wanted to correct that. We're going to have a max of 2000 lumens. So no matter which version you have, you're going to have eco, low, medium, high turbo, and then a strobe and an SOS. So again, we have the spotlight version. We're running that short 18350 battery, which I never actually even really showed that battery to you guys. So it is branded there, 1100 milliamp hours. But in order to get to that eco, you have to be off, and then you long press this button for like a couple of seconds, and now we're in eco, and that is a half lumen. And with this 18350, it's going to run for about 220 hours. I don't know if you saw the red light come on when I first turned it on here. Basically, it's a battery level indicator, and right now it's saying that we're somewhere between 10% and 30%. If it's flashing red, we're less than 10%. Green means we're somewhere between 70 and 100%, and orange is somewhere between 30 and 70. So before I do the beam shots tonight, I will get this fully charged up for you guys. So if we were already on that eco mode, and then we want to go to the next level, which is low, you just kind of long press this and we'll automatically go up. You can see that center hotspot. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a great thrower. There is a little bit of spill over here as well, but it's definitely going to be a thrower. This low is 60 lumens, going to go for just over 6 hours. We'll go up to the medium next. That's 220. Again, that is really bright. I'm excited to try this one out tonight. That's going to go for like an hour and a half or so. Next up, we have high. That's 500 lumens. It says just over an hour on that one. Again, it's insanely bright. Now, I don't know if that'll run for an hour straight or not. It doesn't give you like step down times or anything. But like the next one's 1500 lumens on the turbo. I doubt that it stays on. It says an hour, but let's go up to it. So that's a double click to get to the turbo, 1500 lumens. If that stays on for more than 3 minutes, I'll actually be impressed. It says an hour on the box, but I'll kind of check that stuff out for you guys and let you know. You can also get to turbo from off just by double clicking. Like I mentioned, it also has strobe and SOS, so if you're sensitive to flashing lights, look away for the next minute. But you can get to those just like turbo from on or off. I'll show it to you from off first. It's just a triple click. And there is our strobe. Does look like it is like an inconsistent pattern. And then if you want SOS, it's another triple click from here. And that strobe was 1500 lumens and the SOS was 220 lumens. So let me show you guys this hidden secret on this little urFLAMP light. I got this light here years ago, and it's an 18650 headlamp. Well, they also made an 18350 tube for it. So I actually bought the tube, and then I actually got another head for it. So this is the exact same flashlight. One of them is an 18650 version, one of them is an 18350 version. And I always thought, wouldn't it be cool if like you could have the same flashlight do both batteries? And basically that's what they have done with this here. And it's in the 18350 configuration. The way you get to an 18650 is you just simply turn this and it extends the tube, and now we can take this battery out and put in an 18650 battery. But as you can see, there's a significant difference between the 18350 and 18650. This is definitely going to give us a whole lot longer run times, but it also is going to give us a little bit higher output on that turbo setting. This will give us 2000 lumens versus 1500 lumens. And you basically just drop it in and the light is ready to go. But yeah, definitely brighter on that setting right there. And in this configuration with the 18650, it's 4.4 inches. But I think it's an absolutely awesome feature. Never seen this on a flashlight before. I love it. You can have a super short compact light or just a slightly longer one. It's still a small light. I mean, it disappears in the hand basically. But yeah, very cool. A couple more things to talk about before we get to charging. The light does have mode memory. So let's say that I go to the medium right there and I shut it off and I wait an hour, a day, a week, a month, whatever, and I turn it back on. I'm going to come back on that medium setting. And finally, it does have a lockout feature. You just get to that by long pressing this for about 2 to 3 seconds. It'll look like our eco mode is going to come on, but then it'll shut off. So that flashes to let you know that you're in lockout. And now when I try hitting it, we just get this kind of yellowish orange light telling us that we're in lockout. To get out of lockout, you have to triple click the button. I kind of wish it was the same like long press, but you have to triple click. It'll flash, and now we should be ready to go again. I'm going to switch back to the 18350 because that's the one that needs charged. Also wanted to quickly show you this base. Even though it says it's magnetic, as it is right here, it is not magnetic. Basically, there's like an adapter that you would screw into this, which becomes like a magnetic base, but they don't include that. But as it is right now, you can take it, and again, any tripod basically, you can screw that on there, and then you could put this in any angle that you would want. So something like this might be beneficial or useful if you're like doing nighttime photography or something like that, or wanting to like check fields. But yeah, you can see how you could really put that in any angle that you would want, looking up into trees or whatever. And let's get her charged up. Looks like we got a red indicator when it's charging. I assume that that's either going to turn green or turn off, probably green, whenever it's fully charged. Alright, we'll see what this urFLAMP looks like in the dark. Inside the house, we'll start off in that eco really low mode. Again, it is a thrower. I'm recording with an iPhone, so it may not appear as bright on the camera as what it does in person, but let's go up to the low. Again, you can already really see that hot spot. That's medium. There's actually quite a bit of flood with it as well. I mean, it's illuminating the entire room. That is the high. And let's go to the turbo. Wow, that is really bright in here. And I'm going to do the strobe next, so if you're sensitive, you can look away. Alright, and now that urFLAMP outside, there's a row of trees that's right in front of me that's probably about 80 to 90 feet away. And then there's a second tree that's about 100 yards away. So I'm going to turn it on here in the low setting. This is not the eco, this is the low. With my naked eyes, I can see that tree back there that's 100 yards away pretty easily. The camera's not picking that up. But even on this lowest setting, that's shining up into the trees pretty well. We'll go up to the medium next. Okay, now you can really see that tree back there. Hopefully you can kind of see the beam coming off of this. Those trees back in there, again, I know it's kind of hard to see, but probably 220 yards away. Let's go up to the high. You can really start to see that beam now. Yeah, over there is what I'm talking like. Those are about 200 to 220 yards or so away. Let's go up to the turbo next. Wow, I cannot believe this thing, as small as this is throwing like that. I want to go from completely off into the turbo just to show you how impressive this little light is. And again, off, back up into the turbo. Well, hopefully seeing those nighttime shots were somewhat beneficial for you guys. I was actually pretty impressed with like the sustained output on those higher levels, like that 1500 lumens. It could probably maintain that for, I'm going to say, close to 2 minutes. There was a kind of significant step down. I don't have any way of measuring it, but it was probably about half. So maybe 500, 600 lumens, somewhere in that range. And then it maintained that for like over 10 straight minutes. It never stepped down again. So very impressed. You know, they claim that this has a 663 meter throw. Again, I don't have any way of actually measuring that, but I do know like yardages because I live on a golf course. And I could see probably at least 400 yards from where I was, and it wasn't the darkest of nights, and there's a lot of like artificial like street lights and highway lights and stuff like that. So the thing does throw really far. You know, the overall beam kind of looks like a lightsaber when it's coming out on those higher settings. But it's, again, very impressive. Just like the overall lumen output on it is really, really good. I always like to show you guys what a flashlight looks like in a pocket if you're going to carry it that way, and there are no clips on this one, so you're just going to have to drop it down in there. And I have deep pockets on these shorts, so it's like it bunches up like right down on your leg, kind of like you definitely can feel that. A couple other things that I like about this light, one is that it has that battery level indicator, so every time you turn it on you're going to know exactly what the status of your battery is. And I also like that it works with the 18350 or the 18650, and it literally just takes a second or two to go between those lights. Very cool. I've never seen a light do this. A few little things I don't necessarily care about. One is when you are using the 18650 battery, this tube here is super slippery, super smooth. When it's in the short configuration, this is like textured or grooved, and it kind of gives you something to grab onto. Here, your hand just kind of slides around. Now, I understand that the rest of your fingers are going to still be up there, but this is really slippery. I wish that it would have matched like the grooves that were on there. Maybe they couldn't for the turning purposes. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, it's just completely smooth. There's one thing with the user interface that I wish that they would change. If you are in the turbo setting and then you want to go back to one of the other settings, you basically have to turn the light off and then turn it back on and then go through like your settings. So let's be on the low setting here. All right. And I turn on, I go up to turbo, and now when I hit this, it just shuts off. But it doesn't do that when you go to strobe. So here's a strobe warning. So let me turn on in low. Now let me go to strobe. All right. And now watch. When I hit it, I go back to that low. I wish that turbo did the same thing. And finally, my last little complaint with it. Again, there's no pocket clip. You can put that lanyard that's included. You can't put that on there. But as it is right now, if you set this down and you just gave it just the tiniest little roll, it will literally just roll all the way off your table. If somebody bumped your table or whatever, the thing will just roll. So I wish that they had some like cutouts or indentations or something that would maybe like lock it once it started to roll, but yeah, I mean, I can get that, and it'll just keep going until it actually would fall off eventually. But again, those are things that I just dislike. There's nothing wrong with this lamp at all, and I highly recommend it. I love the uniqueness of it. Again, I've never seen anything quite like it. It is a great little pocket thrower. With all the 3D printing going on right now, I guarantee you that somebody makes the diameter right here, that 1-inch diameter or whatever, that will go in your belt, and then this can just like sit down on there, and so you'd have a really nice little flashlight on the side of your belt, really for like search and rescue or just kind of toying around with. But it's not much of an EDC light. It's almost too bright. The beam is too focused to be an EDC light, but it's still a cool little light. So the V63-S and the F are both available on Amazon and on urFLAMP's website. They're coming in around $32 on Amazon, and if you got Prime, you get free shipping with that. It's 1-day delivery. This was that little magnetic tail that you can get that has the 1/4 thread that'll go in there if you want to put a magnet on it. Those are $10 on urFLAMP's website. And then the V63-S is $40 on their website. I don't know if they're going to provide me any type of discount code or not. If they do, all of the links for the Amazon and for their site will be in the description. And if there's a code, I'll put that there as well. But all right, guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.